Stop giving your energy to people who cannot receive it or refuse to receive it. Today, I'm talking about why we keep giving to people and worrying about people and caring for people when they refuse to receive it from us. So, number one, why are we doing this? And number two, what does it feel like when we're giving to someone and we are giving energy to someone and they are receiving it? And number three, we are going to do a little cutting the cord process so that you have more ease in your life and it's easier to walk away from people who are just refuse to receive from you. Hey guys, this is Rebecca. We're diving deep today so we can rise high. You have so much beautiful energy to give. And today we are going to remember our greatness together. All right, let's dive into this juicy topic today. How many times have you worried about someone, helped someone, gave so much energy to someone, only to feel kind of tapped out, low energy, and not feel very good, almost wake up hungover? Kind of happened to me this morning. I have two sons. They're both teenagers. My younger teen really receives energy from me, really receives, wants to hang out with me. And the older one, not so much. Yet I keep asking him to come to dinner. I keep asking to do things. I keep caring for him and buying him clothes. And yet he doesn't really receive it. It's like it's like watering a rock or talking to a wall kind of thing. Watering the rock, there's just no energy back. There's no energy flow. And so I have these two experiences. So why? Why do I and why do you keep giving to someone, giving energy to someone who just refuses to receive it? Well, I have a few reasons here on this book. One, guilt. We give it out of guilt. Two, obligation. Responsibility, loyalty, the right thing, or we worry about them. All of these things are lower vibrational emotions and activities that we do, and we are caring and we are energetically giving from a lower frequency. So when we are giving from guilt and obligation and loyalty and doing the right thing and worry, one, perhaps the other person can feel that and they're like, so maybe they don't want to receive that. But also, we're not being genuine here. There is a certain block in energetics when we're giving from this. Now, a lot of times, obligation and responsibility as a parent, say, or as a teacher, we have to commune with certain people, right? But how can we do it in a way that doesn't zap our own energy, where it stops being an obligation, where it stops being just out of guilt? So how can we set up our energies to, if someone's not receiving and yet we still have a responsibility, say as a teacher or as a parent? That gets tricky, doesn't it? But I wonder if we can cut the cords and really tune into the karmic connection and choose something different, if we would have a different experience of this person. The other thing that helps me too is tuning into the light body of the person that I'm interacting with. So last night, even though he really wasn't that into receiving from me, I still had dinner on the deck and I still really tuned into the lightness and just tuned into my lightness. And that seemed to help a little bit. All right, so that's number one. These are the reasons we give, and even though people are refusing. So remember this: guilt, obligation, responsibility, loyalty, and doing the right thing, and worry. When you are coming and interacting with someone from those things, pause. back up and see if you can come at it from a different angle, from a different energy. Raise your vibration first to some higher frequencies and then interact with them. This is what I've been doing with my older son, and I'm feeling less worn out and less triggered. All right, we're going to go to number 2 now. How do you know that someone is receiving from you? This feels good. It feels like flow, all right? It feels like appreciation. There's gratitude there. There's flow and interest. All right, now I have this with my younger son. Just yesterday, we took the dog for a walk, and there was just this flow of energy and enjoyment, and he was appreciating our time together. We both were in this state of gratitude for each other's company. It felt really good. So when someone is receiving from you, you can feel that flow. So you can feel those higher frequency emotions of gratitude, appreciation, flow, positivity, interest, joy. You can feel that higher frequency and flow happening. And so it's so interesting that I had 2 experiences yesterday with each of my sons. One when someone was refusing to receive me, and one where someone was really open to receiving and there was a flow. So that is how you know that someone is really receiving the contribution of your energy and your beingness, is that it feels like flow, it feels like gratitude, it feels light, feels appreciative. It just feels good and feels a higher vibe, okay? So why would we choose anything else? Again, sometimes we have to choose, right, out of obligation and responsibility. But what if we really didn't? So number 3 here is we're going to do a little cord cutting. This is something you can do with anyone that you feel like you have no choice around, that just feels like it feels obligatory and you feel like there's no choice. Whenever there feels like no choice, that means that some kind of karma or cording is happening. So let's cut that cord. And there's lots of different ways you can cut the cord. You can imagine seeing a cord going from you to another person and just imagining yourself cutting it and just seeing it kind of go back from you and from the other person, and then you're released, and just seal it with light and love. Another way I like to do it is just with sound. So you can just tune in to the connection you have, that is the corded or the non-choice reality, and then tune it up to a higher frequency. All right, so that's another way. Another way is perhaps get Reiki or get some energy work. Perhaps have a talk in the quantum field with that person's soul. That's a really fun way to do it. And so today, what I'd like to do is, I love doing everything through sound. So I want you to tune in to that person, or if there's a lot of them, just pick one. Pick the one person that you just keep giving to, but it's like watering a rock. It's just, they're not receiving anything. Tune into that person right now. And we're going to tune into that low vibe. And what I'm going to do is sing from that frequency, and then I'm going to move it up the frequency, and we're going to entrain it to a higher frequency. All right, so and this may change the interaction you have with the person, at least help you take the obligation and responsibility out of the way and have more choice around interacting with this person. And this has helped me a lot in our family dynamics here, is to really realize that I do have choice. I have choice in how I respond and react. I have choice in how much time I spend with this person. All right, I have choice in how I give to this person. You know, I was just school shopping with my one son, and, you know, it just felt really good to buy a few things for my other son. And I followed the flow of that. And that was one way that I could um, flow my energy and give, not out of responsibility, but out of like, this feels good. So let's go into changing this dynamic with that person. So I'm going to tune in to those lower frequencies of obligation, responsibility, guilt, the right thing, worry, all that. You know, if you're giving to someone that's refusing and you keep giving, there's a lot of that low frequency stuff there. So that's what I'm going to tune into. So I feel it. I'm feeling that. It's not very fun to visit. So anyway, we're going to entrain quickly. And so we're going to entrain to the light body, the lightness, the ecstasy, the joy, the positivity. And we're going to set that up so that's where you tune into them. That's where you give from. So, did you feel the shift? Did you feel the shift in frequency? This is something you can do too. So before you go interact with that special person in your life, tune in to where you are, you know, with the worry and the guilt or the obligation, and just make some sound there. You can also just play with the sound Om. And then with the frequencies of that guilt and obligation, just Om, okay? And then start to tune into positivity, joy, ecstasy. And while you're thinking of that person, and then sing Om from that. And you start to feel the lightness. And then once you're in tune with that, then go contribute or interact or talk with them. So again, this may be for more like choiceless situations where we feel like there's no choice, like as a parent or a teacher or maybe a colleague that you have to go to work with every day. So give this a try, and you can always just imagine the cord and just cut it. But it's really fun to feel your whole vibration shift around this person. And then once it's at a higher vibration, then go interact with them. And you're relating to them in a different way. You may or may not notice that they're receiving from you or not, but you will have more flow. This is what happened last night. There was times when I could feel maybe I was like overdoing and over trying, but then there was times that I was just in that flow and I was tuning into their lightness, and then it just felt good. And I don't know if they received or not, but it wasn't like I was just giving energy to the rock. I kept it flowing. I kept it flowing. I hope this is helpful to you. There's so many times in my life that I have worried and been guilty and, or felt guilty and felt obligated to family members, especially with, addicts in my life. Always wanted to keep helping and rescuing. I think it aged me so many years. I feel like I have a more vibrancy now than I did 20 years ago because I had so much worry and guilt around my father's addiction with alcohol. And there was this rescuing complex and saving complex that I had with him. And so that was a lot to go into. He has passed now, and we've and that's done for now. But so guys, take a look at, where are you over caring and over worrying and over giving to someone that's just not receiving? And focus on the people that are willing to receive in your life. And if you have to interact with these people that are not receiving, then give this a try. Give the cord cutting a try, and give the sound entrainment exercise a try. And by all means, let us know how this works for you in the comments. Or if you have a particular situation that you would like a little insight about, put it in the comments. I'd love to help you out there. And please subscribe, like, and click the bell. I'd really appreciate that. And welcome to the High Vibe Tribe. Namaste.